So you've been recently diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Let's talk.
Bite up, bite up, bite up. Yeah.
So to start, this video is going to be kind of difficult to get through, especially if you are recently diagnosed. So feel free to share it with somebody else so they can watch it to help you get through it, or feel free to pause whenever you would like. That way you can take as much time as you need. And I hope that this video gives you the tools to succeed, because I felt like when I was diagnosed, I was very lost. You were newly diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and the first thing that happens is they whisk you away and they start treatment. Whatever that treatment is for you depends on your stage. So this is going to be a very general video on just basic colon cancer experiences from me and other colon cancer survivors. This is about the truth, about what your future will and possibly could look like. And my name's Amanda. I'm your patient advocate friend. I'm not a doctor. I want to be upfront and prep you for your success. Chemotherapy. Okay, chemotherapy is gonna suck. I don't wanna lie to you on this one, okay? Chemotherapy is it's gonna hit you really freaking hard, but that's what we want, okay? Chemo could work miracles. Chemo can work miracles. I've seen it work miracles, so let it, okay? Do whatever it takes to keep it down. Do you hear me? My doctor looked at me and said, Miss Lee, I give you permission to do whatever it takes to keep it down. So that's what I did. You do the same. If you have to eat ice cream every day to keep that chemo down, mama, okay, eat that ice cream every day. Who cares? Who cares if your teeth rot? It's a small price to pay for a long life. Get new veneers. Whatever. That is how serious we are about this, okay? You are in battle. Buckle up, do the chemo, and do it as hard and as good and as well as you can. Whatever you need to hold it down, find the solution. If you don't have a solution, please talk to your medical staff, because there are plenty of other things like scopolamine patches, sakes. There's plenty of things that you could try. So please talk to people in your community about what they do for chemotherapy, and also talk to your medical staff. So with chemo, you're going to be very sick. You're going to fluctuate in weight, and that's going to be a little jarring. So I'm prepping you for the change now. And I think that's one thing that no one really prepped me for, was the physical changes I was going to go through. So keep that in mind. You will go through some very extreme physical changes, and know that your body is working overtime to keep you alive. So give it a little grace. To have a bag or not to have a bag? That is the question that you will never get to answer. It is your medical staff's team, and you could wake up from surgery and have an ostomy, ileostomy, or an ostomy, whether it's reversible or not. And that is hard, very difficult, comes with challenges. We'll make a full video on it, but that is, who needs it? Who needs a colon? Let them have it, okay? Work that cute little bag. Work it. It is now your cute little personality trait, and we love her. She's her own little personality. Having a bag is a battle scar in this community. It's kind of like street cred, if you will. I'm just saying. So rock it proudly, because it gets you alive. It keeps you living. And I love that. I love anything that keeps you alive. How people react to colon cancer.
My grandpa had that. Isn't that an old person's cancer?
How people react to colon cancer is exhausting. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Ignore them all, okay? Ignore them all. That is their weird way of trying to relate to you. So try not to take it personally. Ignore them all. When they say, oh, my grandpa died of colon cancer, or people will say, I know somebody who's passed from that cancer. You'll hear that a lot. People know nothing about cancer. Okay, those are old stats. No offense to your grandpa or your great grandpa or your great 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 sister's niece's cousin that had colorectal cancer. They experienced colon cancer in a different time. So you are experiencing colon cancer in today, and we have different technology. So keep that in mind. That is hard to hear when you hear it over and over and over. Oh, blah, blah, blah died of colon cancer. My grandma died of colon cancer. Yes, I get it. I know people want to share and feel like they have something in common with you. But
I was diagnosed at 27.
so it's not an old person cancer. It's not a grandpa's cancer. It's not whatever people want to stigmatize colon cancer as. That's not what it is. And it is, it's very different than that. So don't listen to them. What is the coolest thing about today's technology and colon cancer is colon cancer is really unique in the way that it's a very slow growing cancer. And that is a benefit for us cancer survivors. And I want you to think about it in your head, like it's just a benefit. Colon cancer stats are outdated. People have this idea that colon cancer or colorectal cancer is a bad cancer or the worst cancer. Newsflash, all cancer is bad, okay? Whether you have cancer of the brain all the way down to your toes, okay? When you say, oh, I have colon cancer, they'll be like, whew, that's the worst one. Okay, Susie, those stats are outdated, Susie. There are a lot of people to this day that have been on chemo for maybe even a decade. I know you're probably like, what? How could you be on chemo for that long? Colon cancer is different than the other cancers. Colon cancer is slow growing. So as long as it's not growing and attacking an organ that is really, really freaking important. So I know a lot of people who have monitored tumors in their body, maybe in their lungs, maybe in their liver, maybe in their colon still. But these people are on active chemo to stop that cancer from spreading. And that's what makes this cancer special from others, is that it is a slow growing cancer. And we have that technology and that science to be able to stop the spread of it so you could go ahead and live your life. Yes, you're living your life on chemo. Like I said, I know a lot of people who are on chemo indefinitely. One person's been on chemo for almost 17 years. But as long as that chemo is actively working, then she's actively alive. That's what makes colon cancer a little different than the others. And I hope that gives you a little hope and it makes you poo-poo what other people have to say about it. Traveling. You will hear every medical professional tell you to go and travel when you have a chance, which is weird because it was like every medical staff talked to each other and looked at me and was like, you should go travel. No, that's just what they tell you. And let me tell you why. So the reason why all your medical staff tells you to travel is because they understand that colon cancer is notorious for coming back. And like I said, there are a lot of people who are on chemo indefinitely. And you could be one of them. I could be one of them. We never know now with colon cancer. And we cross our fingers and we hope, but we can't sit around being stressed until that moment. That's why they tell you to travel. They want you to fill that time that you're stressing about cancer recurring to adventure. And That's their way of telling you that. So let me tell you, as your patient advocate and cancer survivor friend, if you have any time that you are feeling good, whether it's your off week of chemo, whether you don't have cancer anymore, whether you don't have cancer for the rest of your life, I want you to live it up. Because there will always be a time when you don't feel well and you can't live it up. And you will have the privilege of feeling both, which people don't really understand. So when you do feel good, really, really live, okay? Like live it up. And that's what your doctor means by travel. So the friends you have right now might not fulfill the needs that you have in a year. And that is a huge adjustment. So the next topic is losing friends to cancer. This is really, really hard, and everyone talks about it, but it's different for everyone. So there are two ways to lose your friends to cancer. You make friends in your community, other cancer survivors, and unfortunately, they don't survive. The second one is your best friends, your cousins, sisters, whatever. They see that you're different and they treat you different, or you are different, and those friendships can no longer be the same. And that is okay. So make friends in the cancer community. And that's where I go back to the first one. Like, yes, it's really hard. I get it. It is very important to find people that understand what you are feeling, understand what you are going through, and those friends, those relationships you can create a bond with, because those friends that you used to have don't understand that type of bond. And that is okay. So the way I look at pain is, now that I have friends that don't get to be here to experience pain, I see pain as a privilege. When you are even in your darkest hour and you're sitting in that hospital room and you are feeling so crappy and you want to not be here, know that that feeling that you have, being alive to feel that feeling, is the miracle, is us living. And that is a privilege. In a lot of ways, our future self might not get to feel even pain. So let yourself feel the pain. Let yourself understand that life comes with joy, sadness, happiness, pain, tragedy, but you are here to live it all. That has been what has gotten me through it, and I hope that helps somebody. I had somebody with Lynch syndrome, which is somebody who has the genetic gene for colon cancer. She was a nurse in training who came into my room. This nurse in training came into my room and said, "Hey, I have Lynch syndrome. I just want to talk to you for a little bit." And this conversation was worth $1 million. She looked at me and she said, "I have Lynch syndrome. My grandpa had Lynch syndrome. My dad has an ostomy. And one day I will also have an ostomy." And I remember looking at her and being like, "How do you know that?" She said, "Because every time they do a colonoscopy, my colon is riddled with polyps. And that will kill me. But that ostomy would save my life." And there was something about how she said it to me, where she was very blunt and very upfront. And that was worth $1 million to me as a cancer survivor going through this treatment and prepping for it. and I hope that I could prep you in some fraction of how she prepped me. I'm going to add a couple of videos of some other amazing cancer survivors, some still going through chemo, living these amazing miracles on a daily basis.
Hi, friend who has just received some really terrible, awful news. I'm going to keep my advice short and sweet and humble. This is not an easy process. It feels life-altering because it is. Find people who understand. Do not shut them out. Let them in. Ignore the ignorant comments that you will inevitably get, and just reach out to those who get it most and try to hang in there through it all. I am so sorry you're part of this awful club, and from my heart to yours, you can do this.
My name is JJ Singleton. I'm a colorectal cancer patient and survivor. My advice on anyone just recently diagnosed is to not isolate. Don't try to take everything on by yourself. Reach out to advocacy groups, organizations that have people and resources available, and then other patient advocates who's been through this, who knows what's going on and can lead you in the right direction and just help you and not make you feel all alone in this really hard time.
My name is Erin Bersher, and I'm a stage 4 colorectal cancer survivor. I was diagnosed when I was 18, and I would say my biggest advice for being someone who was diagnosed with cancer so young is to remember that you are your own biggest advocate, and not to let anyone make you feel less than, or that your symptoms are less than because they might be the norm. You know your own body, and just remember that if something feels wrong, it's probably wrong. So please advocate for yourself. You could be saving your own life.
And feel free to follow them. Have them join your community. Be a part of this community. And I'm sorry that you are a part of the club. It's not a club I want people to be a part of. But know that it is a club. And we are here for you if you need anything. Thank you always for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And stay out of trouble. But most importantly, stay beautiful. Bye. Give him a little Kiva looks. Kiva. Get some Kiva action in there for them. Boy. Look at how cute she is.